China's population, dropping by 2 million people in 2023 in the second straight annual drop. Now, births fell, deaths jumped after the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions. The fresh data adds to concern that the world's second largest economy's growth prospects are diminishing due to fewer workers and consumers. And meanwhile, the rising costs of elderly care and retirement benefits put more strain on indebted local governments. For more insight, we're joined by Xiujian Peng. She is a senior research fellow from the Centre of Policy Studies at Victoria University. She joins us live from Melbourne. Dr. Peng, you've just heard some of the main factors behind this trend. Now, the figure is significant, isn't it? Because a population dip for 1 year is one thing, but this dip is happening over 2 consecutive years. What does that suggest to you?
I think the population decline in the second year is not a surprise because based on China's sustained low fertility for more than 30 years, which the fertility below the replacement rate, we call it, is 2.1. If this sustained low fertility rate lasts for so long, then China's population will one day begin to decline. Once this decline happens, that means it will last for many years. Unless the government can manage to increase the fertility rate quickly back to 2.1, then we can see maybe China's population back to increase again. But this will not happen in short period of time. This will maybe only happen maybe after 70 years. So this means we feel from the 2022, the first year we see the China's population decline, then this decline will continue and at least maybe more than 50 or 60 years. Yes.
Oh, wow. So just to pick up that last line, you expect that downward trend in the population to carry on for at least 6 decades moving forward. So this plummeting birth rates, as you said, difficult to reverse. So why have the measures implemented in China to date not encouraged more births and been so challenging?
Yeah, this is a very good question. You know, a lot of countries, not only China, but also like in Singapore and also South Korea, Japan, they also see the very low fertility rate, and the government also try many ways to try to encourage the fertility rate. But we see that the data shows that all those policies seem not very effective. I think there are many reasons behind that. The most important reason is the housing. The housing very expensive in China, living costs, and also plus the education cost is still very high. And though the government want to try to implement a lot of measures to try to reduce this cost, but still, I think the education cost is not a drop any sooner. And also, we see the increasing marriage rate and also a increasing marriage age and also declining marriage rate. So this also contributed to the decline of the fertility rate. So and also the young generation, the government I think found it very difficult to change the young generation mind. They just feel the value of the large family is very different with the last generation. So they prefer to have more freedom and also maybe no marriage and no children. So I think, so currently it's very difficult to change the young generation mind. So the incentive, the money incentive will definitely not work.
You know, you rightly pointed out it's not just China. There are many countries facing these issues, along with an aging population. That's something that many countries are facing. But in China, that's expected to increase to more than 400 million by 2035. How's that going to complicate the situation?
Yeah, you are very right. China, in one hand, we're facing the declining population, and in another hand, China is also experiencing very fast aging. So this aging, the speed of aging is much faster than the most European country, and even faster than Japan. So this is the population aging problem is a huge challenge for the government. We have more elderly to support, and meanwhile we have the declining in China. They have a declining labor force. So this means the total the old dependence ratio, we call this is like the total number of the elder population aged 65 divided by the working age population between between 16 to 64 years old. We find out if China's fertility rate continue decline, that means this old dependent ratio will increase to from currently maybe 100 working age population to support 20 elder population will increase to 120. Every 100 working age population will support 120 older population. So this means a very huge burden for the working age population. No matter is also meanwhile they also need to support some children. So this means in China, the aging is a very burden for the economy in the future.
Yeah, indeed. Those are staggering figures. And I did want to ask you more about the impact, both long-term and short-term, on the economy, particularly in this time where China has been overtaken by India as the world's most populous country last year. So with all these geopolitical issues going on between Beijing and Washington, how is China's economy going to be faring? And have you seen a knock-on shift in the way the world trades with China and establishes its supply chains around China?
Yes, we see with the declining labor force, China definitely the labor cost will increase compared with like the labor cost in India, because India have more young population and cheaper labor force. So in that case, we will see, and this already happened, in China, a lot of labor intensive and low margin manufacturing factory will move to India and also like Vietnam. All those are cheaper, all those countries with cheaper labor. So you can see that a lot of this supply chain will gradually move out of China, maybe shift to India and Vietnam. So this is only for the low margin and the labor intensive manufacturing goods. But for the high tech area, I still think China will be a very important supplier in this high tech end.
Well, we do have to leave it there, but very many thanks, Xiujian Peng, who has been speaking to us live from Melbourne, for all those figures out of China. Thank you so much.